Hey friend, how you doing? Welcome to Soul Vine. This is Jamie. Let's connect in. I just wanted to clear the energy. There's a lot going on, beautiful releasing. It's going to be subject to where the full moon in Capricorn sits for you at the moment. But Capricorn is 10th house energy. Okay, so for a lot of you, it could be around your identity, how you're standing in the world right now in terms of your career, your ambition, what you want to achieve. But again, it can be different subject to where you are. So I'm not sure if there's anything particular that's been coming up for you lately, friend. But we're going to connect in for our Pisces Sun, Moon, Rising right now and connecting to the energy, see what's happening, what you need to know, and get you some guidance that you may need. As always, appreciate you being here. And if you haven't already and you feel connected and called, it's awesome to connect, like, and subscribe to the channel. It allows us just, to be in it, to connect and share the love. So thank you. Okay, so the first two energies coming through in your current space, your current energy, we've got the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So there could be something here that you're trying to balance out in partnership, in connection, in building around the home front. Okay. If it's not home front directly, this could be about giving, the way someone shows up, the way someone gives, and also how potentially you're giving back. There seems to be, I think, some question here, and the pause is just connecting into the energy and what's really showing up here right now. The energy seems like it's really, whomever this is connecting to right now, it seems to be about identifying where this next space, season, place is for you, and how you can thrive in it, and who you are thriving in it with. Maybe there is some goal around the home front. Maybe there is some goal around a partnership. Maybe there is some goal around your career. But the goal is really to establish a place of a sense of freedom. And freedom can come in many ways. It could be financial freedom. It could be free in, that when you show up, when you give to something, it's being seen, it's being acknowledged, and it's being given back. There's such a sense of freedom in that, without having to try to say to someone, please see me, please acknowledge me. There's a presence here that feels it wants to navigate its way in connection and in partnership with each other, is how this energy is coming across. But let's dive in a little bit more and see what else is crossing this right now. So the Strength energy, yeah. Again, it's trying to find a way or a solution through this right now, is how this is coming across. The Strength energy is also asking you, Pisces, to, what do you need to do? What do you need to say? What action do you need to take? Okay, Strength energy, Leo energy, masculine energy. So if you stepped into the masculine part of yourself and had the courage to show up, had the courage to take the steps that you needed to take. I know the feminine is the allowance of things showing up, okay, is the nurturing part, is the compassionate part, is the intuitive part. But right now there's something that's being asked to trust in the protection, to trust in the moments of stepping forward, to trust in the things that you may need to express, but it's doing it in a way that's quite articulate and thought through, okay? Because the Strength energy is also one of courage, but it's also one of being tamed. Even though the lion, if we think in the jungle, there's this sense of how they lead and how they show up. I don't know if you ever noticed too, though, there's some clips out there that the feminine also knows when to, give him a little tap or is really fighting for what she believes in and his behavior. And, you know, there's something about the controlled element, but also something perhaps you need to do for yourself in showing up for this thing that you're trying to navigate or work out here. But I feel the holding back is one of not holding back because you're defeated, or holding back in shame, or holding back in not having, maybe you're holding back in maybe not having enough confidence to say something or express yourself or say what you need. But it's asking you to do it. Whatever that you do or how you step forward, don't allow it to take away your voice. Don't allow it to take away, you know, that part of you that shines. There's something here that's important about expressing it and showing up for it, in terms of what you need here around this. Maybe something is financial, maybe something is energetic, but say what you mean and mean what you say, if that makes sense. And that's something important here that's coming out. Let's have a look what's influencing this energy right now for you, friend. Two of Wands and Five of Swords. So there is some conflict here around the direction and around the plans and around the maybe parts that's been communicated. There's definitely a partnership here. You've got the Four of Wands and then the Two of Wands, okay? So that's, you know, plans. If we looked at this is both people bringing their plans to the table and walking through, you know, this portal. This is a person's plans, but it can be two energies and their plans. But how much is one individual's plan and another individual's plan coming together? There's something about this that seems to be in a little conflict. So again, if this is some conversation, or someone's feeling like they have to give up something here. We've got the Strength energy again that I want to remind you, because it's sitting in your challenge, right? What do you need to say? What do you need to do? That's going to be an important piece here. And sometimes conflict may come first. Conflict doesn't need to be a massive, out loud, difficult thing. It can be uncomfortable. It can cause conversation to challenge thinking, but it doesn't need to be an explosive, out of control thing when we think of conflict. No one likes, you know, I don't think most people like confrontation. It doesn't need to go that way, but I think something needs to be shared and something needs to be expressed here on a way forward around something. Is what's coming up here. Let's have a look at the past, how it's impacting right now. We do have the Nine of Swords. So this is something that I feel may have been going on for a little while around this dynamic or situation. For some of you, this could be just about your goals, the place that you want to be, what you want to create for your life, what you want to create for yourself. And the partnership piece can be who you do it with, you know, an employer, your own business, your friends, whatever those things that represent. I want you to expand your thinking right now, Pisces, because I feel that's being asked and open, because there's something here about this Nine of Swords energy that this has been playing on your mind and worrying you a little bit here on how to move forward with this situation. I do feel that something financial is in the mix of this, or has a key part to this element right here right now. And it's something that it's not a new thing, but maybe it's a new thing that needs to be spoken about, or that's been just left kind of pushed under the rug kind of thing. What's in your headspace? So the Knight of Pentacles. So again, it's trying to bridge the gap here right now and on feeling strong and stable in whatever this is. Some of you could be waiting for confirmation, or what this thing that you want to achieve right now is. How do you get it to a place, or how does it show up? I think you're looking at the how right now in the mind. That's what's showing up, is like, how do we get it to here? How do we get up to this Nine of Pentacles? Yeah, Capricornic energy, you know, strong, robust, grounded, certain in the step forward, you know. It's not fast, it's not hasty, it's I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going, and I know what I need to do, and I need to hold that space and be that strong fort around it, you know, or for it. But whether this is you, Pisces, or the way that you're thinking about this situation, because this is in your headspace, it's like you're trying to understand, how do we do this? How do we get to this? It's like you're trying to find a solution, or be that solution, or be that thing, right? Let's see near future. You have the Temperance energy showing up, okay, for the near future. Kind of what's showing up next with this. I'm hearing the word pattern. So there may be a little pattern that maybe you notice about yourself, or notice about something or someone here, and maybe that's what you're trying to navigate. Maybe plans or direction in something, especially for some of you at work. Maybe you're working on something or wanting to make plans towards something if it's not work related, and what you find is that something just gets thrown into the mix that's just perhaps what you might feel is unnecessary, and there's always a challenge when it's like you get somewhere and then something's thrown in to just give it a spin, and it's like, I need something stable. I can't keep operating. It's like a pattern keeps happening is what this feels like, and you just want to be in a place of feeling at home, feeling connected, feeling like what you're given, the life is giving back to you. It's not just taking. And I'm getting a sense here with this Temperance energy. It's again, how do we form this way of balance and freedom and harmony, and where we're all just feeling safe here in this next direction, or in this path that we're going. I think everybody wants the same thing, but the way people react, the way people respond, the way people show up, everyone's got their underlying stuff going on that I feel just ends up simmering to perhaps some boiling point somewhere along the next step, the next care of how do we make this come to life, or how do we get to a place that this just is not a problem anymore. So it feels like something is getting to a boiling point, and I think you can't ignore it anymore, okay? And there's something here of, I think you want to be feeling like, yeah, at peace or at freedom with this. And I think there's a point in time of like being patient and keep showing up and trying. But there is something here about the space and time that's going to be important. Let's have a look at what your power is in this situation. Nine of Cups. So this is the focus on what makes you feel good, right? At the end of the day, what gives you that happy place? What makes you feel connected? What makes you feel alive and energized, you know? And I think the more that you connect into that and focus on that instead of the conflicting parts, and maybe, you know, when you see the conflicting parts, acknowledge the conflicting parts. What are they telling you? Where is the misalignment here? Because something's misaligned. Or something about the plans or where you thought you were heading may not be the place, but what it's trying to give you is maybe some courage to speak your truth, to stand up what you need to stand up, and take the direction and move towards something that does give you that freedom in balance and in harmony and in care, that where you show up in the world is showing up with you in reciprocation of that. And maybe if you're not getting that, you're in the wrong place, you know. Maybe you've been trying to talk about it, maybe you've been trying to hold on, but you want to feel this where you are. That's what you think about, the stability. You think about, you know, there's stability and protection in this Knight of Pentacles. Whoever's leading the way forward here in this, I'll say goal or sense of achievement or sense of connection and the place that you're wanting to be, the big part here is I just keep hearing the word freedom, being free and being yourself and feeling grounded in where you're at. It's not this up in the air thing. It's, this is where we're going, this is what we're achieving, and it's solid and it's supported and it's appreciated, you know. There's a quiet confidence. The environment around you, you do have the Hierophant energy also showing up here. I'm going to clarify this section. I have a feeling that there's more that wants to come out here. Let's have a look at what's in the hopes and fears. The Fool energy. For some of you, I definitely feel this could be career related, or the next phase of your life that you're trying or wanting to establish, where you get to a place of just feeling like you have the freedom to do what you need to do for yourself, that allows you to feel stable and supported at home, right? Because if you're not, and home can be whatever that means to you, okay? It can be the people that you, that matter to you. It can be, you know, the place that you spend a lot of your time at, so you work. It can be, you know, so you can do the things that you want to do for your future, that again gives you that sense of, I'm in the right place, I'm doing the right things, I am with the right people. But there's something underneath that just, I feel, is bubbling away right now as you're trying to position this or get to this place of, I want to be valued and I want to be acknowledged for who I am and what I bring to the table. And whatever this dynamic is for you, it's like, you know, you can achieve something better or something more. And I do feel there's a little bit of disgruntled energy of when you think you're on path, and then there's just a spanner that kind of comes into play. So I think there's some reflection here of what keeps stirring up, what keeps coming back in over and over, that challenges you or that has you worried. Because I feel like it is about your sense of stability, but stability not just outside of you, it's within you, you know. And I feel this is the question it's asking you. Your power is in where you shine. And where you shine is where the life from within you is expressed. And when that's expressed, there's a different version that allows you to do what you need to do. So again, there could be someone or something that keeps squashing the thing that you want to do, or that sense of, again, security, sense of freedom, of expression. And it seems to be around some form of commitment or some form of choice that you're going. But I think this is part of the assessment here, or being asked for. And maybe you're hoping that whatever you've been putting out there, or whatever you're wanting to achieve or attempting to achieve here, that you can envision for yourself, that you're hoping that this offer can give you that new foundation you need to move forward. And I think that's the hope here, is someone witnesses you and your layers, you and your work, you and your dedication, you and, you know, your care. And there's this opportunity that shows up for you just as much as you know you'd show up for it. There's something that you're not being, I think, fully valued or appreciated, and you just keep handling or dealing with it. And it's getting, I feel, a bit much. It's taking a bit much from you versus giving to you, you know. And I think that's what you're trying to find. Maybe you've made a commitment somewhere with something towards someone, you know, or maybe it's part of your journey, you know, with family, with children, with some form of work that you wanted to do, or something that maybe you promised at some point in time. And it's not breaking a promise. There's a change of direction. There's a change of season. There's a change of, this is not serving what the promise and purpose was of his initial delivery, or initial, when you embarked on that journey. So that, you know, it's not breaking a promise. I don't know if there's some guilt there around some promise that you feel that you had to make, but I think there's a point in time where you've got to take care of yourself, because something is stirring. Something is not making you feel fully satisfied or good around it. Okay, in terms of the outcome, you've got the Moon energy and Seven of Pentacles. Again, I feel like this is not, we are full moon energy right now. Okay, as we're moving through this, it just seems like it's not like you want to be out in a way of you have to be the center of attention. It's nothing like that. What this is about is being acknowledged and seen of what you bring to the table, of what you can create, even when, you know, people may not see everything all the time, because no one sees everything all the time of what we do, what they do, or anything like that. But there's something here about gaining some understanding of the time and investment needed towards something. But it's like, for some reason, whoever that you're dealing with or whoever's in this mix with you, it seems like they can't see the effort, the energy, the investment. And I think that's what's part of it. What else do we need to know here about the moon energy? Yeah. For some of you too, to have the Empress energy is kind of letting us know here that this is two very strong feminine energies, okay? So I do feel intuition and clarity is a big one here. The moon's an interesting energy because the moon can be magnetic, but sometimes in the heightened energy of the moon, while there's release, or while there's conversation, or while there's opportunity, sometimes what happens is we get a heightened sense of something, and then we've invested, and then we realize it's kind of like that promise that you made. It doesn't need to actually be the word promise, but maybe something that you agreed to or made a commitment to. You didn't see everything you needed to see at that time. It just, there was the excitement, there was the energy of it, and then it was like you could see the potential. But then sometimes when you unravel back, or when you see things in a different light because you've had a bit of space, you had a bit of time, you connected more into your intuition, it changed something, right? And I feel here right now is that you made a promise back here somewhere. And now you're seeing things differently of perhaps where you want to be or what you want to achieve. And maybe you don't know what that outcome is going to be because, you know, a lot of the time we're here to gain guidance. We have our intuition that, you know, feeds our spirit, allows us to connect into the things that we need to connect into, whether, you know, it always takes us, I would like to say, on the right track when we're truly connected into our intuition. But sometimes there is that clouded moment. And I feel that whatever that you're wanting to create right now in your life, whatever it is that you're trying to birth, whatever that is of how you also want to be seen and acknowledged, there's just this there's this place that the way that you show up into things here, friend. I can see that sometimes, again, you're not acknowledged in your experience or where you've been or how you've traveled or what you've done in your life sometimes. And I think there's a little bit, and again, it just keeps bringing me back here. There's a little bit of, you feel like you're getting on track and then someone just wants to make it a little challenging for you. And it's like, you know, there's a wisdom that you have, a care factor that you have, experience that you have, hindsight, foresight. Like, you don't get to this energy through walking through life with your eyes closed. You're a Pisces, you know, you've got the Pisces energy in you, through you, and you understand the accumulation of life, of spirit, of past lives, of who you are. There's just this innate part of you that sometimes you don't even know how you know things, right? Or how you have the answers to things. You just seem to sometimes know, in addition to your experience and what you've been through. But there's something here about that part of you coming out and shining out loud on the table that you're choosing to pull a chair to. Because I think there's this part of you that no longer wants to play pretend in an environment that has been stressing you out. Then you come to a part of balance, beast, and again, there's this pattern that keeps happening. And I feel this full moon is asking you to recalibrate to the energy and the parts of you that when you're in the right place, around the right people, how you're feeling, how it connects for you. And then it just keeps, I feel you're challenged by some commitment That's what this feels like. But there's also this part of you and your soul and your spirit that is also committed to what you can create, what is possible, where you want to invest, and you know you can get the betterment and the return of your effort, your worth, your experience, you know, again, who you are. So this is an interesting evolution that I feel is happening right now, Pisces. And I do feel a big part of it is also, you know, what are you willing to do here? Again, a controlled, I'll say a controlled environment is an important piece to that, which could be, you know, leading it in a way where you can manage the temperature. You can't manage other people, but you know when you're pissed off or you're heightened or you're frustrated or this is being thrown at you, maybe that's not the best time to respond, but still having the courage when the time is right to express, to open up, to take the steps that you need to take for you. And I think not doing it at a time where everything is wacko or people are fully challenging you. And I know that sometimes can be hard. I have a feeling some of you are a bit emotional as well right now. Maybe there is this release period that's going on and you're finding yourself in situations or places that you may be feeling defeated, because maybe you feel that you should be in a better place, or you should be, you know, valued more or loved more, or that just what you put out in the world, it's like, it's not even about getting it back, but it's just like, fuck, like I've just done so much and I need a break in some respects. But it's not that energy sits there all the time. I think there's just sometimes that realization that you can only carry so much, and then sometimes that bag that you're carrying or that weight on yourself in the world, it gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and you just need to let it go sometimes and put it down and go, you know what, this is actually not freaking mine. And I think this is about coming back into these parts of you, you know. I'm going to get some oracle energy cards because I do want to look a little bit more on what we need to know about this energy, and then I'll pull a moon card and then we'll go from there. But I just want to get three cards here to see what the advice is and where we're going with this, to gain some more clarity. Thank you, Spirit. What else do we need to know regarding this energy? Thank you, Spirit. What do we need to know for our Pisces regarding this energy? I think it gave us exactly 3 cards. It did. All right, let's have a peek, shall we? Okay, I did say something about expressing, speaking. So you got the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel. So that's your throat chakra, communication, expression, appreciation. Again, I did mention too, something about appreciation is very important, and then about the security and stability of something. So this is coming quite loudly here for you, Pisces, okay? This is interesting because the appreciation energy is 15, which is number 6. You do have 6 of Pentacles here, which is about the not constantly giving and feeling depleted, but also acknowledging the places that give. What is watered, you may not be looking at, or there's something here about also the way something is looked at that I think is relatively important here. But there does seem to be something needs to be expressed, and maybe it's, you know, changing tactic. Maybe that challenging thing is, what is it that you appreciate about it, and how can you look at it a different way, and how can you open up the conversation differently? But it also is too, where are you feeling safe and supported and secure? And if you're not, what else can you see and acknowledge that you can grab onto? Kind of like if you choose to let go of something, and I'm not talking about a partner, I'm talking about something that gives you this. So, you know, if you're leaving a home or relocating home or relocating job, you know, it's sometimes a really good idea, especially if you're dependent on your living situation or you're dependent on your income, whatever it might be. How do you set yourself up for success for when you take that jump and leap, right? That gives you that safety. But this also could be too that the foundation of something is not supporting you the way you need. So there's definitely something here about looking at the intricacies and adding them together as a whole on how this supports you, works for you, okay? I know this might sound a bit ick, but I feel like there is a situation that as much as you might want to be appreciated around something, or you're not feeling appreciated around something, there might be someone here that you need to feed their ego a little bit. And I know sometimes we don't want to hear that, and sometimes it's not, you know, I don't believe in, you know, sucking up to people at all. I'm not that person. But I do, there's the criticize sandwich, which you may have heard, that sometimes when you bring up something and you speak about something, it's not just telling them everything negative. If it's problematic, right? Or you need a solution to something. It's like what is working, what you don't like, but what you appreciate. It's usually positive. You want at least 2 positives to any negative feedback or expression, okay? So there's something here to think about that in conversation or when presenting something. No one wants to feel criticized, and I know sometimes when there is a challenging component of, you know, got plans moving forward and then spanner thrown in the works, you just maybe sometimes want to scream and just, you know, it's enough. But there's something here about the way something's presented I think is going to be important here. But it's not losing yourself or depleting yourself in the process, right? You can also ask for what you need and what supports you, what you appreciate, what you value, and what supports this overall situation. But there's something about that part that really needs to be looked at when moving through this, okay? I'm going to get you a moon energy as final guidance for this. Thank you, Spirit. For our Pisces. Your dreams need a practical plan. And this makes sense here, right? Taurean energy. You've got Pentacle energy, Taurean, Capricorn. I'm wondering here, I'm not, as much as, you know, Virgo energy here, I'm just getting more Capricornic Taurean energy. And because I feel like this is not about the detail anymore, okay? This is about the movement forward, the solidifying the steps forward. And the only way to do that is start moving in that energy, start connecting into those places, into those situations, into that people with more the things that you need to be doing or should be doing, and moving to that, because there's a lot of planning. There's something here about the plan or the direction, but also something that's unacquainted right now, and it needs stability to it. And it is frustrating when you're invested in something or showing up to something and then you think you're going a certain way and it's just like there's always a problem. And you can take it as, is this a roadblock for a reason, or is it the wrong people? Is it the wrong place? Like something needs to change here, but you know that because it's been happening for a while. This is not a new dynamic or a new pattern that you've experienced here. So I do see you want to get to a place of like, can this new offer or this new opportunity or this new place of landing, can it show up? Because I think that's what you need. You need that. You can't keep doing this. And I think that's what you've got to come back connected to. This looks wonderful in terms of where you're heading, right? Your power is in the place and the people that gets you emotionally connected to self and alive to the things around you. It's like your tentacles of your energy just expands. Where here right now, this is contracting it. And I feel like when you make a promise to yourself of, yeah, I do need to take care of myself. I'm allowed to be happy. I'm allowed to do those things that make me feel valued, seen, appreciated, connected. So I feel like there could be something really coming up here that you get to connect into. I don't want to say latch onto because, that can come across as it's not here to save you, but what it's here to do is give you that thing that allows you to recommit to your own destiny, your own promise. I think you've just been a little diverted and stuck in some pool of something here. And I do feel there's something new that you get to experience that maybe you can't see yet, or it hasn't fully shown up. But I feel like this is where you will be witnessed in this Empress energy that you have and hold of experience of who you are, what you bring to the table, you know. But it's something you can't see yet that maybe you have already been investing in at some point, and it shows up, and the universe gifts you just stuff that's been happening behind the scenes. There might be people that you've already been speaking to, people that you know, people that you know. There's something here that's going to start connecting the dots, but you won't be able to see it until you get to a place of what reconnects to this Nine of Cups for you, and what are you willing to do on that commitment of self to shine, to glow, to do the things that make you feel that aliveness, because that's really important here. I'm going to leave that there. Much love, friend. This was a very long one, but it's obviously meant for you. I'll catch you later.